Track reviews.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it is time for a new track review. Going to be talking about the latest track from none other than singer, songwriter, rapper, Mr. Post Malone. Before we get too deep into it, I do want to mention that our sponsor in this video, good people over at The Ridge, they make these nifty metal-plated wallets that you need no further discussion about at this point. You already know I'm the #1 minimalist wallet salesman on the planet. Hit up the link down below. Use promo code MELON to get 10% off of your order. So Post Malone, brand new single. I was hoping he wasn't going to spend 2019 too quiet. Looking for a new album soon, Posty. Looking for a new album soon, bro. We had that single from him a little while ago, Wow, that I thought was okay. He also had that big moment on the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack that so many people were making a big deal of. But Goodbyes, featuring Young Thug, could mark a new sound, a new era, a new something. Let's see if that is in fact what happens on this brand new cut. Post Malone, Goodbyes. Let's give it a try. Ba-bam. Oh my god, that was so melodramatic. That was very melodramatic. I have positive things and negative things to say about this track. Mostly positive though. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I mean, the stuff that rubbed me a little bit the wrong way with this song that I feel like I could acclimate to a bit more with a couple listens is I thought the Young Thug feature was a little too eccentric for this track, which instrumentally and vocally is incredibly smooth and very slick. I would say this is one of Post Malone's slickest productions yet, and it's almost to the point where it feels cinematic. Like it feels like this song would be more appropriate for a movie soundtrack than an album. The chord progression at the core of this, which also bugged me a little bit, we've heard this chord progression a million times before. In fact, I would say we've heard several different variations of this vocal melody before. It's very familiar. It's a very tried and true progression and melody. I like the lyrics. You know, they do kind of have this bittersweet tone to them, and I feel like in terms of this lane of sad white boys incorporating their sad singer-songwriter songs into an aesthetic that borrows so heavily from modern trap production, because it is a trend right now. It is a trend, and Post Malone has very much contributed to making that trend what it is today. I feel like Post is still kind of at or near the top of the pile with a track like this, because goddamn, again, the lyrics are bittersweet. They feature this depiction of, I guess, Post Malone being on the emotional edge in terms of this relationship that he has going on in the song. It's falling apart. We've got to say goodbye. I'm not good at goodbyes. Again, very melodramatic, and I guess as stereotypical as a breakup song could possibly be. But breakup songs of this style are very much a valid form. They're a trope. They're a genre in themselves. And as long as that's the framework we're functioning within to judge this track, I don't think it's that bad. In fact, again, I would say I like the tune, I like the melody of the track a lot, and I could see that alone taking this song very far. Again, I feel like the reason I appreciate it and the reason I like it is because I've heard songs that sound a lot like this one before, and those also have been massively successful. Listening back to it, there are elements on the chorus that I feel like you could map sections of Radiohead's Creep over. So again, structurally and compositionally, we've heard pop songs that sound just like this before, but what separates this track away from that pack is that it's using more modern production. Post Malone, in my view, has a very impressive vocal performance on this track and a vocal style that makes him stand out in the current hip-hop and pop landscape. Post Malone also continues to, in my view, successfully ride this transitional point between pop and hip-hop. Of course, these two genres have never sounded more alike than they have in any other point of popular music history. And Post Malone is obviously not the reason that that is the case. I mean, there are artists that came before him that helped contribute to that, but he is taking advantage of the blurring of those lines, especially on tracks like this. He's taking advantage of the blurring of those lines in a way that few other artists are, in my view. I think that's most of what I have to say about this track, aside from a few minor critiques. I pretty much like the song. I think it's an enjoyable song. And I think I am going to leave it at that. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Post Malone, Goodbyes, featuring Young Thug, Forever.